has increased. And can you tell us what's going on for Clark and Kim right now these days?
Well, right now, many of you know, Clark went over to Accra to relieve Kim because her MS, she relapsed because of stress, according to the neurologist in Accra. Kim flew home about 3.5 weeks ago, was met at the airport by CTV and Global News. The story has gone coast to coast, international in some cases. She's home, she's preaching, but her feeling hasn't fully returned in her hands and feet.
Now, the first time that she preached, she had to sit down to preach.
Yes, yeah. And Clark, Janice reaches out to both of them each morning, and it was even discussed at one time with the possibility of one of us maybe flying over and spending Christmas with Clark in Accra. His heart right now is that somebody in our government, either Justin Trudeau or Ahmad Hassan or Heather Cameron in our High Commission in Accra, Ghana, would have the heart to simply stamp the paperwork. That's all that's required. They have done everything expected of them. They used an international adoption agency in Vancouver, authorized by our government, licensed to perform international adoptions, and do the necessary investigative work to ensure that this is an orphan boy. That's been done. The Nigerian government, because Clark and Kim spent an extra week or 10 days in Nigeria, they authenticated the paperwork as well and assured that this is an orphan boy. All they need now is to get his citizenship and his passport. And Tim Ross is here. Tim started an online petition, and props to you, Tim. Yeah. Over 20,000 signatures of support for Clark and Kim, and we appreciate that. Online, the social media is abuzz with this story. It's reached coast to coast for sure. I've said to somebody earlier today that really Canada knows what's going on, but now the world is watching. And God is writing a story. I truly, truly believe that. Clark's prayer right now, if you care to pray specifically for anything, his prayer is that before the last flight out of Accra is December 22nd at 10:20. That is what is being posted on social media. Justin Trudeau is being challenged to make one phone call to Heather Cameron. Or Ahmad Hassan, make a phone call to Heather Cameron. Or Heather Cameron, have a heart, stamp the paperwork. This process, they've been told by immigration, takes potentially 6 to 8 months for both phases. Okay? Even top end, 2 years. They're 3.5 years in this process. The final phase of stage 2 should take no more than 10 days. The story I think that's being revealed is that there's an issue with our High Commission in Accra, Ghana, and God is going to fix it. And I've said to Pastor, the only thing that is getting me through is my faith, the support of our family and our church family, the community around us. I know that God is going to do something through this. And you said again this morning, and I'm not sure if it's Henry Cloud where you got that quote, right? But God is too wise to be wrong and cares too much to be callous. And that's the God we serve. So my prayer, if you want to join us, is that Clark gets notification so he can make that flight on December 22nd. Because as he's told those in authority through social media, and the kid's got a great sense of humor, if you don't have a Twitter account, try to follow him on Twitter or check out Instagram and some of the postings. Heather Cameron would fall in love with him in the story if she would ever open her heart to meet him. That's where it sits. We can't wait. But you know what? Clark said to Janice, he said, Mom, I know I'm okay. The Holy Spirit is carrying me through this. And that makes Mom and Dad feel comfortable.
Yeah, good. Thank you, Rick. Appreciate that. So what I'm going to be asking you to do, there are two things. One, you need to see Tim tonight before you go home and say, Tim, how can I sign that petition that you have started to circulate? And he'll help you figure out how to do that. 20,000 signatures, I think we can actually go beyond that. And you might want to jump on board with that to bring little AO back to Canada again. The second thing is we are asking you to consider donating to our benevolent fund here at the church. And then out of that benevolent fund, there are some needs that we want to take care of. And we will be channeling some of those funds to the need that is represented with this family. Not only is this extended stay in Accra, but there are medical costs and there are other costs that have been incurred that were not expected. They were prepared to go for X number of days, and they knew how much it would cost them for that stay. And now that it has stretched way beyond what they were expecting, there are all kinds of extra costs that will be incurred as a result of this. And so as their church family, many of you would remember little Clark running around this place. Would you remember that? Yes, many of you would remember him and watching him grow. And some of you got absolutely thrilled and excited when Clark experienced the call of God in his life and he went off to Bible college, and now he's a pastor of a large church in British Columbia, and God's got his hand on him and do great things through his life and through Kim's life as well. And it's just wonderful to see one of our own actually stepping into the fullness of God's plan for them, and they've got a need. And so I'm just asking the home church of Clark and Kim if we could possibly help them financially. We don't have a target right now. We don't have a time frame right now. We're going to be deciding that tomorrow night at our board meeting. This is relatively new to our board. We haven't had time to actually discuss the details, but I'm letting you know tonight that all of our board members are saying we're on board with this. We agree we need to be supporting this couple, and there are other individuals across the country, their home church, in APC, Abbotsford Pentecostal Church. They're supporting them, but the need is great. It is great. There's a GoFundMe project that I think the goal is $100,000, and the treatment for MS and the care and the concern that Kim had when she was there in Accra just mounts those costs. So I would like us to help as a church family to do that. You can do that by, as I said, contributing to our benevolent fund. If you want to use our debit machine as you leave tonight, or sometime over the next number of weeks, you would like to contribute to this project, just write out whatever amount you feel you want to the benevolent fund, and trust the board is going to direct those funds as in the ways that they have in the past. They're wise and very good stewards of funds. I want you to know that our Young at Heart ministry has already gotten on board with this. In fact, Sandra had announced it just last Thursday, was it? The last Thursday? And $500 already has come into this project. And so we're just, thank you, Young at Heart people. Thank you so much for that. And we will make more announcements to our church family as we move along so that you can be made aware of what's going on, the details and so on. But we would just appreciate it. The reason why we're having you take it through and deposit it into our benevolent fund is so that income tax receipts can be issued. We can't do that if it's directed to an individual. And so please just understand that. We want to make that available to you as well. If you want to donate directly to them, you feel free to do that as well. You ever been married?
Yes, I am.
Married for a length of time, and you know something needs to be said, and you're just waiting for it to be said. Oh, there's an earring here. If you've lost an earring,